Time is. Welcome to the journey, y'all. It is your boy, Journeyman Bell, a.k.a. Mr. 100, and Rolo here on Fishbowl Radio Network here in the beautiful city of Arlington, Texas. Y'all know how we get down by now at the journey. Log in, fbrn.us, fbrn.us, the journey. Click that link to listen to your boy and your girl on the journey, because y'all know we believe in taking life one step at a time. That's right, no review mirrors on this show, Hot Show in the Land, with your boy J-Man and your girl Lolo Bell in the lab. Y'all, we about to cook up something for your life, y'all, and we are celebrating 1 year on the journey. That's right, 1 year. Special shout out to Miss Sammy, owner, CEO of this thing that we get down with, y'all. And I just want to drop this little side note. Your boy is married now. I think your boy is married now. That's right, I love you, baby. Yeah, she in the lab, we running a little late, but y'all, we still on time. Cause on today, we're gonna talk about dreams and visions, how to bring it to pass, obstacles, hurdles, stumbling blocks. We're going to all get it all together. Y'all make sure y'all log in, y'all share on today on the show, y'all. As I begin to think about on the J-Man thought on today, I thought about self-sabotage. A lot of times we self-sabotage ourselves. We kill ourselves with the negative things that we say, the negative things that try and bring us down, tear us down, rip us up, tear us apart. And y'all, we don't realize that we are slowly, surely killing ourselves from our dreams, from our goals, from the direction that we're trying to go in our life, all because we want to kill ourselves with our words, because we don't feel like we're good enough. We don't feel like we're qualified enough. We don't feel like we have enough. We don't feel like we do this, and we don't feel like we do that. And I'm guilty of it sometimes myself. Your boy J-Man ain't always confident, but y'all know what? We got to be careful not to kill ourselves. Self-suicide on your dreams, on your goals, take you further than you would imagine in the depths and pits of low places in your life. You got to remember that if you got a dream, if you got a goal, stop killing yourself. Stop being hard on yourself. Realize that it does take time. Realize it does take a moment. Realize that it does take its proper course. You need the certain things to get into place and get things going for it to work out on your behalf. Just know that it ain't by accident everything that's happening for a reason. And it's not by accident that you've been given a certain assignment. Don't think less of yourself because it seems greater than you. Just know that whatever it is that you're called to do, whatever it is that you have to do, even if you're just trying to build yourself back up, just know that it's not by accident. It's all by purpose. It's all by design. He has something special for your life. You gotta keep pressing. You gotta keep moving. You gotta keep going. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No. Keep on moving. Don't ever second guess yourself and be so hard on yourself and condemn yourself to the place that you kill yourself off before you even start to fulfill and live out what you are called to do. Because a dream is a call. You just gotta wake up to it. You gotta fulfill it. And don't kill yourself above everything else. We're gonna take 60. We're gonna come back straight up and down with me and Lolo right here on the journey after this.
The journey is brought to you in part by I Got 5 on It Favor. What's that, journeyman? I Got 5 on It Favor gives you, the listeners, the opportunity to be blessed, be a blessing, and receive a blessing, all with just $5. Here's how it works. You take your $5 and you pull it to your Cash App. Send it to me, Journeyman Bell, at JManBell4. That's JManBell4. What we do with your $5 is part of those proceeds go to the Pride Africa Support Program. Another portion of that goes to The Journey, which is what keeps this station blessed. And then finally, the last part will automatically register you for a chance to win a $20 gift certificate of any restaurant of your choice. The drawing will be held right here on The Journey every Saturday. That's right. So you get a chance to be a blessing, be blessed, and receive a blessing, all with just $5. So where's your 5 at? Cash App up. Get your 5 in. I got 5 on it. Where's your 5?
Right, y'all. Welcome back to The Journey, y'all. It's your boy in the lab. Glad to be back. My baby's on the way up. Y'all know how we tag team this thing together. Y'all, I'm so glad to be here to celebrate another year, another day that the Lord has made to bless us with, to rejoice in with. And y'all, this has been 1 year on the journey. 1 year. I can't express that enough to thank you for y'all support. Thank you for all that you do. And y'all just keep praying for your boy as we keep dealing with these certain topics, certain situations, certain circumstances, certain situations, all that on the journey, y'all, because I hope it's been a blessing to you. And I got a topic today. We're going to talk about your dreams and visions, because you ain't never too late to dream. You ain't never too late to be inspired. You ain't never too late to press forward. I'm just waiting on my co-host to come on up. Y'all, because let me tell you something. When God gave me this, when he gave me this to do this called The Journey, I honestly didn't know what was going to happen. I knew I had did like sample sizes. I had been on TV. I had done a little bit of internet radio before, and all these things that God was preparing me to do over the years, it started to manifest more and more as I continue to walk it out, as I continue to go through this thing. And I thank you all for your support. I thank you all for the Pride Africa program that we continue. We are still sending over to Africa, and we are still feeding families over in Africa. Even though the gifts may have kind of dwindled down, we are still in that committed place of feeding the people in Africa, because they're still dealing with some pandemic issues there. They're still dealing with some things there. And I'm telling you, everything from the shirts, y'all like my shirt, the J-Man shirt as well. Oh, glory to God. I thank you for it. Thank you, Anitria Johnson. I'm just so thankful. Thank you for my mom. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for so much support that has come from being a part of the journey. All the guests over the year, just being a part of the journey. I can't thank you enough for that. I can't thank you for those that listen in, even in sometimes where I'm not always consistent. I'm working on that. Y'all keep praying for your boy, because I'm telling you, there is still a lot more we need to talk about on the journey. So, how's everybody doing out there? Yeah, if y'all were really tuning into my page, you would notice that I was doing a giveaway all week on the journey with your Cash Apps, your Zeals, your PayPals. So those that follow me on my journey page, I thank you for being a part of that, and I'm thankful that I was able to give some of those gifts out on this week, y'all. See, if you stay in tune with the journey, there's some stuff coming back to you as well. There's things that are always coming back to you in the process as well. So I thank you for your support as well. And there is Low. Glad to have y'all in. Glad to have y'all in. Glad to have y'all in. Glad to have you here, baby. Glad to have you here. How you doing, baby?
Doing well. Moving and shaking. It's our anniversary.
Yes. I was just telling everybody how thankful I am for what we've been doing on the journey.
Absolutely.
And even in the transitioning places from our marriage, from me doing it, starting out in incorporating us together in this. I always believe in, and my wife will tell you that I believe in us.
Absolutely.
I always believe in us, and I was sharing with them about the importance of a dream.
the importance of your dream and how your dream may start one way and how it can expand to more, but you got to keep pursuing it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, and so when I begin to think about all that we've been doing on the journey, I want to ask you, what have you learned the most about being a part of the journey? Because you've been a court reporter, you've been a driver. Y'all,
designated.
Let me just give a special shout out to my baby, because let me tell you something. She know that I grind. I grind on Saturdays. A lot of times y'all don't know that, but I'm grinding on Saturdays, and it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the radio station to feed this that I give to y'all. And my wife, she's been driving me up here since day one. She's been faithful, and it's only been a couple
over a few things, so come on up a little higher.
She's been good at that, and I want to thank you for that, baby. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being that support place. So let me ask you, babe, what have you grasped from being a part of the journey so far?
Loaded question. That's a loaded question, but it's a good question. I think the one thing that comes to mind for me is perseverance. I have watched you persevere since day one, since the inception. And then, you know, the other incredible thing is just watching you just like walk by faith, just walk this thing out from week to week. And I'm sure you just said it, but, you know, every week, each week, practically, you know, we've been here. The one thing that came to mind about the anniversary place, sweetie, is that even though we don't live, and I'm sorry I don't have my noisemakers, we don't live in anniversary, but we learn in anniversary. And that's how I have watched you by jot and by tittle just grow and kind of wax strong in this vision that God has given you.
Yeah.
So perseverance. I've watched you persevere.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being a part of the show. I thank you for learning the way in through the show by being a part of it so much. So, you're looking good today.
Thank you.
Y'all should see how good she look from my eyes. But let me ask you this, baby. When you start to talk about and deal with dream, what comes to your mind when you start talking about dream or vision? What comes to your mind when you start to think about those things?
Perspective. Because, you know, a lot of times what we see walked out is really just a manifestation of what has been within. And so, you know, whether it be God speaking to you, whatever that place is within, nobody knows, you know, better than you what you've been given in terms of a dream or a vision. And so I think that perspective is very important, how you view it, how you internalize it, and then, you know, remaining consistent to whatever those instructions are. Walking it out, you know, whether you're frustrated, tired, or I don't feel like doing it today, it's continuing to move forward. So that thing, it comes to pass as you come to pass.
Right, I like that. I like how you said that, because it is a journey, and I think a lot of times we get caught up in the overnight coming to pass with the dream, and a lot of times we don't plan for the long haul. You know, whenever I say dream, I automatically start thinking about Joseph. I automatically think about how Joseph went from the pit to the prison to the palace, and in between that pit, prison, and palace, there was ups and downs, ups and downs, and ups and downs. And so I had to kind of put myself in his shoes, and thinking about that dream was important enough for him to mention it to his brothers. It was important enough for him to mention it, but he didn't mention it anymore throughout his ups and downs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And as I begin to think about the ups and downs of a dream, I keep thinking about, where is our position at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What position are you in? Are you in your pit place? Have you been betrayed to be in the pit? Because that's what it's going to take for your dream. It's going to take some betrayal
It's going to take some sabotage. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take some things that you didn't plan for.
Absolutely. The unexpected, those unexpected places. And I think that, even with, sometimes with us, when we share the dreams or the visions or the aspirations that are set for our lives, there may come a time where you feel obligated, if no one else but to God. Lord, I got to walk this out because you gave it to me, or you've shared this with me. And so you have to be mindful of who you share your dreams and your visions with, because everybody that you share with is not necessarily on your team for the vision to come to pass. So you really have to be selective in doing that.
Right, exactly. And you would think that your support place would come from those that you have been supportive of. But a lot of times the ones that are closest to you are the ones that usually end up selling you out.
I think a lot of times people that are the closest to us are so familiar with us that it's hard for them to really see this other layer of what it is that we're trying to do or walk out, because they're so familiar with us Monday to Sunday. So when I come to you on a Tuesday at 3:10 and say, God spoke to me about doing this, you're so familiar with me that you really, really can't fully appreciate those unusual moments in life.
Right. Yeah. And those unusual and awkward and unexpected moments of life tend to a lot of times come in that journeying place. But you know what? The one thing that I love about that story as well is that the favored place. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I think we misfavor as like a promotional kind of thing, but a lot of times favor is used when you're in your most lowest place,
right?
When you need the help the most.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I know you can attest to this when you've been dealing with some ideas and dreams that you've had and things like that. What was the reaction of betrayal?
I think that the toughest thing for me to ingest is when you've shared something with someone that you really entrust.
Yeah.
And if you're like me and you have kind of a tender heart, and when you receive that thing, you're so excited about whatever it is that when you do share it, you're expecting it to stay in a safekeeping place.
Right.
But I have come to personally realize that even in those places of my life, I've watched people walk out things that I've shared with them in secret, if you will, a vision or an aspiration. But let me tell you what that taught me. You don't want to stay there. I had to say to myself, okay, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to make that mistake of doing that again. But probably for me, like I said, sharing it with someone that I really felt like I can trust, trust, not realizing that they were just getting close enough to me in order to glean the information so they could take that vision and run with it.
And that can be very, very difficult when you're dealing with those things, because the first thing you like, what's up? Can I at least get royalties on it or something like?
I mean, I'm to have stewardship over the vision, but you weren't asked to walk it out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that those things are important in your observation places,
right?
And sometimes you really don't know. You don't know who's your family, so to speak. You don't know who's your family, but in every failure place, what I've come to realize that even in my course of some things that I've seen other people use and things like that, I've come to realize that if it's used in any kind of form that wasn't God made, that it does not succeed
exactly
as it would be had He gave it to you.
There's not the same grace on it.
Exactly.
You may carry out the work, but it doesn't have the amount of impact that God may have intended. Especially if your motive was not in the right place.
And I think about certain events and things that I've done over the course, and I've seen just kind of glean from those different things, and I just kind of sit back and it's just like, wow, wow. But at the same time, for me, a lot of times I've still learned to relish in the fact that God, he when you're favored, let me say it this way, when you're so favored in God that even when certain things get stripped, God always got something else in store. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? He also, in those moments, challenges us in terms of how we respond. So even though those things happen and occur, God is saying, how are you going to react to that?
Yeah.
How are you going to respond to that? Are you still going to exhibit the fruit of the Spirit?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that.
That's okay. Let me ask you a question, if I may.
Yeah. What's up?
When God first gave you this vision, you had this thought in mind to go forward with the journey. What was your greatest fear?
My greatest fear was, what am I doing? And it was, how is it going to show up? How is it what are going to be the results of it? How was I going to learn? At the time, I was learning the board and things. And of course, my very first, it's funny you were saying, I was looking at my very first episode and I don't know if Duke was here or not when I first started, but I couldn't keep
Duke,
the mics on.
My son, my baby.
I had problems keeping the mics on and clicking the red light for the light to come on because I started doing it first, and then we transitioned into some things, and it was just, I was trying to just learn it, and then I wanted to perfect some things. I wanted to make sure I had my intro down good, that that it took some time, still learning it and things like that, and just on top of that, I wasn't concerned with how many people I reach like most people would do when they come into this, because I said, whoever I'm going to reach, I'm going to reach.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've always been in life. Whoever I'm going to come in contact with, it's going to be whoever God needs me to come in contact with, whether it's one person or 5,000 people. So there's no pressure to try and draw numbers like a lot of people look towards to do that. That's not my motive. My motive is whoever needs to hear it, whoever needs to see it, whoever needs to be a part of it. That is my main concern. But my greatest fear was doing it the way God wanted me to do it. You know what I mean? That was I was concerned about that. I was when I do something, I always like to do the very best I can, or I'm not going to do it at all.
Right.
And every week I was coming up. I wasn't afraid of the TV. I'm not afraid of the cameras, because God He's always been training me. I shared this at the very, very beginning, is that He's put me around TV for the longest. I've always been around TV. I've always been around radio, but I never understood it. I never understood why I was around it. Like, there was one time I was in Colorado back in 2000, and it was right at 1997, and my very first time being on TV was and I stayed in, like I said, in Colorado, and I got invited to a TV program, and I got a chance to share and things like that. And then from there, it was just a couple of spots here and there on radios and things like that. And then in 2010, God told me to start going on TV. I started doing TV, and I started doing the first internet radio when we used to have to used to upload Dropbox. We had to Dropbox it and all those guys. I used to have to use a voice recorder, and that's a whole nother process by itself. But we did it. We went into that stage, and so I was doing that. And so I've always been around these types of things, and I never really considered it because I was just in the mode.
Right.
So even when I started doing Welcome to the Journey, I started doing, hey y'all, welcome to the journey, and I would do like a little 10 or 15 minute encouragement thing, not realizing that when I started saying it's your boy J-Man Bell, it's J-Man aka Mr. 100, not realizing that this was all formulated as a part of the journey, which is where we are now. And I believe that this is just another stone to where I believe we're going. I love being here at Fishbowl Radio. I love Sammy. That's the reason why I drive. We drive 2 hours to come here, because I believe this is where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
You know, people say, well, can't you do it in Tyler? I say, I can do it in Tyler. Yeah, probably. If I really wanted to, I could probably get the whole studio thing, because you got so much stuff out there now where you can do it all yourself. But I like doing it here.
Right.
Because I like the people that I get a chance to work with, from Duke to Kenneth to Jay to Paul and whoever else comes in and works, gets the chance to work. I forget the other guy's name right now, but whoever gets to come in and sit down and be a part of this, I like them to be a part of it, because like I said, I'm here for a reason. I consider myself a journeyman.
Yes.
I consider myself a journeyman, and I've come to realize that God moves me in people's lives, and he moves me out of people's lives. Not yours, because I ain't going nowhere.
Hey.
Whole life. So, yeah, I didn't mean to go into that place, but yeah, that.
This is a 360 celebration, you know?
It's been amazing. It's been some highs, it's been some lows, I've been some and I've been upset with myself, I've been upset with people, but this here at Fishbowl is family.
Absolutely.
And so I get upset sometimes. They get upset sometimes. This and that. But in the end, I still come here.
Right.
Because I believe in Fishbowl. I believe in Sammy's vision. I believe in who she has working with her, and all those things that come along with that in the journey itself.
Being on this show, sweetie, has really, really, and being with you has really just it's been amazing. It really has. In the 12 months, it has been amazing. It has caused me to stay open at all times, because I had no intention ever being in this place, because I love you and I supported the vision that I know I love me too. The vision that God had given you was very supportive of that, but I had never an intention to be behind the mic. I was the court reporter. But as you were talking, there was one thing that came to my mind. There is no way that you can be connected to someone's vision and you not be pulled into view.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can be genuinely connected to someone's vision and not be pulled into view.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like, being connected to the vision that you've had for the journey. It's pulled me into a place that I had not expected. Yeah. But as you always say to me, stay open. Yeah. Stay open at all times. Yeah.
And you have to stay open when it comes to the dream, when it comes to what you have dreams of. You cannot, a lot of times, let me say this, a lot of times when we connected to the wrong people, they steal our dream by their distractions. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much that they take our thought, but they take our place of focus. You know what I mean? And when you start to take your place, when someone starts to take your place of focus, they take what you see in your dream and quietly wake you up from your sleeping place. See, I know they say that in order to fulfill your dream, you have to wake up.
Right.
But in order to keep your dream, you have to stay in a sleeping place, if you understand what I'm saying. That means you have to stay in that comfortable place where your mind is open.
Right. Kind of a submitted place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you get a revelation, you get an idea of what it is you want to do, but then you start waking up and doing, and now you don't know what else to do. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about about dreams and visions in their life that they start waking up and they start moving, not realizing that they just in the first stage. I think you got to go through 5 stages of REM to get to the final stage of sleep.
That rapid eye movement, REM sleep. Yeah.
And, so a lot of times we get into that second stage and we don't really go into the deep place of dreaming and fulfilling your dream. Right. And so we start waking up and start moving. And that's what people do, is they wake you up from that place of receiving so that you can go forward. You know what I'm saying? And you have to realize that whenever you start to get into your dream or your vision of where you're trying to go, because, I got a lot of ideas. It's a lot of things I desire to do.
Right.
But I realize as I've gotten older in the things of God, and as I say it like this, and then I'm gonna bring this thought in. But I've said that we're either running for the Lord, walking in the Lord, or journeying with the Lord.
Right.
That running for the Lord is that place that you running and you just on fire. That walking with Him, walking in Him is a better understanding that some things happen not quickly, but a little bit slower. Then as you journey, you start to learn that everything opens up in His time. You know what I'm saying? A little bit at a time. So I heard somebody say it to me like this once. God is just like making sun tea. You need a little bit of sun and a whole lot of time for it to be just right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And those things make up what I strive for in the journey.
Yeah.
What I strive for, taking life one step at a time. No rearview mirrors. People say, what do you mean no rearview mirrors? That means I can't look back while I'm trying to go forward. I can't look at what is turning my head away from where I need to get to. And that's what happens when you start to hear people saying you can't do it. Hearing people saying you're too old and you don't have enough skill and where you're going to get the money and this and that. Listen, I've had all kinds of people tell me, well, how are you going to do this?
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know.
Right.
But I do know what I hear. And you know me from that when I hear it, I'll start working on it
immediately.
I'll start working on it, start figuring out what it is that even if I've never done it before, it's the fact that I heard it. And that's the one thing I encourage people, that if you hear it, don't stop sleeping. Stay asleep. If you're catching what I'm saying, people say stay woke. But I'm saying, stay asleep.
Succumb.
You know what I'm saying? Stay asleep. Stay sleeping and resting, if you will. Let me use that. Stay resting in your dream place. You're not oversleeping, because I promise you, when it's time to wake up to work, to go into your working stages, everything will just start working into place. I didn't know. When I started doing this, I didn't know how my intro was. I didn't know what kind of music I was going to use. People don't realize all those things. Those are all strategic parts. Somebody told me to change my intro song. It's time to do something new. I said, no, that there in itself is profound, because it's what's my name, and those elements of understanding what the journey is created upon. The reason even my music is strategically placed, because it's to fit whatever the segment is, whatever the show is, whatever it is. Where we at on this time thing? Where we at on that? We're gonna play that last song in the last 5-6 minutes of the show. Okay, thank you, dude. But those things are what I build the show up on. I build the show up on my intro. I know my intro to the T. 4 minutes and 23 seconds. I know it to the T.
He has it to a science. It's an art form, literally.
And I've learned that I have to keep working it. That's why I want to encourage you. If you got a dream, keep working it. Rehearse it in your mind. I got a dream teaching that I'm eventually going to have. It's called the DREAM: the design, the rehearse, the evaluate, the actions, and the manifestation. It takes it. You got to rehearse it. Welcome to the Journey, y'all. It's your boy, Journeyman Bell, KK100. Always working on things to make it better all the time. In the long run, sweetie.
Wow. It's your 360-degree celebration, sir.
I love it. And I love you being a part of it as well.
Thank you for inviting me.
You make the journey worth journeying. You make it just that special. You make it special for me. Making it special work with so many people. Duke, he knows me by now. He knows certain things that I do. And all of those things, I wish I had more time to talk about just how special the journey has been for me. It has been seeing the comments, going back in, seeing the people, going back in. Y'all make sure y'all listen to me on my Spotify as well. Welcome to the Journey. I got a new thing that I'm working on called the Journey Podcast, where I'm doing more interviews with people and more testimonies, where a person's testimony become a mile marker for life's journey. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Spotify as well. Throw that little plug in. What I want to do real quick before I give my baby some last words is what I want to do for whoever's listening to this show. I want you to go back in and I want you to inbox me. When did I go on TV for the second time? I already don't said it on the show. What year did I go on TV the second time? Inbox me and I'm going to send you a gift. I'm going to send you a cash app. Because I want to be a blessing to people, because this is our show. And y'all make this show possible. And I always like to give back, because I know God's going to give back to me. I know. That's why I don't worry about money when it comes to this. God's going to give me money back. This ain't about money for me. Those that know me, it's not about money for me, baby.
I just want to thank you personally, sweetie, for just allowing me to be a part of the journey. Like you say, we take life one day at a time. And my prayers for you is that you would just continue to walk this out. 1 week at a time, 1 moment at a time. You're touching lives, baby. God's using you to touch lives in a way that is not, you're kind of walking in some uncharted territory. Let me just say it to you like that. And my encouragement for you is just continue to walk with him. Walk it out. Walk it out.
Walk it out.
Walk it out.
Walk it out. Walk it out. Yeah, I appreciate that. I thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you, Duke. Thank you, Sammy.
My baby, Duke.
Thank you, Fishbowl.
Duke Oba, my 6'7" son. And my baby. I love you.
Love being a part of it, y'all. We're going to come back. I got to take another week off. But we're going to come back the week after. But the week after that, the Juneteenth weekend, Father's Day weekend, y'all tune in, bringing my daughter on the set, Jessica Bell, Miss Jessica Bell, full of wisdom herself in her own right.
Yes.
On the daddy side, of course. And we're going to bring her into the studio. We're going to have a dad-girl conversation, and we're going to find out what's going on with the little J from the big J, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love you all. Love you, baby. Thank you for being my co-rider, co-dider, all of that. Thank you so much. I thank you all here at J-Man, here at The Journey, where we believe in taking life one step at a time. It's your boy J-Man. Y'all give me 2 weeks. We're coming back. New information, new material, right here on The Journey, where we take life one step at a time. It's your boy Jay, your girl Lo. Love you, baby. Your boy Jay is out. Peace.
Hey y'all, it's your boy, Journeyman Bell, aka Mr. 100, host of my new show, The Journey, broadcasting live each week on Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time at Fishbowl Radio Network Studios at Global Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Log in here at The Journey and listen in as we deal with topics on the 100 basis. That's right, you get nothing but the 100 from The Journeyman. So be sure to log in each week on Saturday at